Welcome to my video lecture on network theorem. Network theorem is basically lots of theorems are there or lots of theories are there based on we can solve different kinds of network problem that is known as network theorems. Myself Prunam Banerjee, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department, Dr. Sudhir Chandra Degree Engineering College. In this lecture, I will highlight mainly on different theorems and what kind of theorems are basically there to solve different kind of network problems. Those I have highlighted here. We know that the basic concept or basic mathematical law based on for solution of different network problems, those are mainly on Ohm's law, KCL, KVL, these kinds. And based on that basic laws, the other laws has been implemented, and in those laws, from those laws we can see that how that networks related complex problems can be solved in easier ways with different theorems. So I will start with network theorems introduction. A theorem is relatively simple rule used to solve a problem derived from more intensive analysis using fundamental rules of mathematics. I have already highlighted that mathematics is the base for solving different kind of network problems, and different intensive analysis related to circuit can be solved by network theorems. At least hypothetically, any problem in mathematics can be solved by just using simple rules of arithmetic. But human beings are not as consistent or as far as digital computer. We need some shortcut methods in order to avoid the procedural errors. So for solving those problems in easier way or simple way, this different kinds of network theorems has been implemented to make the complex problem in arithmetical way and make the complexity to simple one. We have implemented different network theorems. In electric analysis, the fundamental rules are Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's law. While these humble laws may apply to analysis to any circuit configuration for complex circuit, it is sometimes necessary to simplify the network to find the current or voltage in a particular branch without solving the entire circuit. For this purpose, there are some shortcut methods of analysis known as network theorems. As any theorem of geometry of algebra, the network theorems are derived from fundamental rules. Now, here I have highlighted 7 basic theorems of network analysis. First of all, substitution theorem, second, superposition theorem, third, reciprocity theorem, fourth, Thevenin's theorem, fifth, Norton's theorem, sixth, maximum power transfer theorem, seventh, Millman's theorem. Here, all the theorems have some particular predefined conditions, and if those predefined conditions exist in a particular network, then we can apply on that theorem, and then it will be easier for us to solve that problem using that particular theorem. That means we need some predefined conditions, and then with help of the conditions and the network, we will make it in a simple format of maintaining the theorem concepts, and then we will solve it mathematically, and then that procedure will be much more easier and simpler. That is the concept of the theorem. Now first, the basic one and most important one among the all theorems, that is superposition theorem. In superposition theorem, we have to maintain 2 predefined conditions. One, the network should be linear and bilateral. Okay. And second part, the second condition is the network must have more than one source of generator. That means at least minimum two sources required, and it may be 3, 4, 5, 6, but minimum two sources required. That means superposition theorem is only applicable if it is more than one source present in the network. So here we will see the definition. The theorem states that in a linear bilateral network, I have already said the first condition is the network should be linear bilateral. The current at any point or voltage between any two points due to simultaneous action of number of independent sources in the network is equal to the summation of components currents or voltages. A component current or voltage is defined as the due to one source acting alone in the network with all the remaining sources removed. That means here our predefined condition is source should be linear and bilateral, the network should be linear and bilateral, then it must have contained more than one source, then we can apply superposition theorem. And the concept here is we have to consider one source at a time, and remaining all the other sources we will remove it by its internal resistance. We know that voltage source internal resistance is near about 0. That means when we are replacing the voltage source, the path will be shorted, and if it is current source, we know that the internal resistance of current source is infinity. So when we are replacing a current source, the path will be open circuited. So in that way, for individual sources, we will calculate the current or voltage for a particular branch or for a particular nodes. Then after combining all the individual source calculation of current or voltage, we will sum those all currents and voltage to get the actual result. Okay. That means if I am removing all other sources, the network becomes much more simpler. Only one source present. That means by using that one source, we will calculate the current or voltage for a particular branch. Then we are getting suppose I1 current for first source. Then again we will remove the previous one and taking another new source and calculating the current through the same branch. Suppose we are getting I2. Suppose in third source when we are present and other 1 and 2 source removed, then we are getting I3 current, and at least our answer will be summation of I1 plus I2 plus I3, provided we have to see the directions in these cases, individual cases. Okay, and in last step we are getting the result. So this theorem is known as superposition because all the currents or voltages are superimposing on each other and for getting the actual result. So this theorem is known as superposition theorem. So let us, we have taken one example or proof of superposition theorem. We have considered this simple network with consisting of two voltage sources, here E1 and E2, and all the elements present here, those are linear and bilateral. We have taken that those are the impedances Z1, Z2 and Z3. So by applying KVL in the above network, we are getting the equation, that is E1 equals to I1 into Z1 plus Z3 plus I2 into Z3. Similarly, applying KVL in second loop, we are getting E2 equals to I1 Z3 plus I2 Z2 plus Z3. Okay. Now solving these two equations, we are getting this value of I1 equals to Z1 Z2 by plus Z3 divided by Z1 Z2 plus Z2 Z3 plus Z3 Z1 E1 minus Z3 divided by Z1 Z2 Z2 Z3 plus Z3 Z1 E2. In that way we are getting the results of I1 and I2. Now we will see that using superposition theorem what kinds of changes will happen. Let us, we are considering this network by removing one source, E2 source first we are removing. Okay, that means now circuit becomes like this. As we are removing the voltage source, the path will be short circuited, so we have shorted the path of E2. Now again we have applied KVL in this loop and we are getting first equation as I dash plus Z1 Z3 plus I2 dash Z3, and in second loop we have applied, we are getting I1 dash Z3 plus I2 dash Z2 by Z3. Now solving again, we are getting I1 equals to Z2 plus Z3 divided by Z1 Z2 plus Z2 Z3 plus Z3 Z1 into E1, and I2 dash we are getting this value. Okay. Now we are applying again superposition and we are removing our first source here. E1 source is removed and the path will be again shorted, okay, as this is a voltage source, and again we are applying KVL in these two loops and we are getting that I1 equals to 0 equals to I1 dash double dash plus Z1 Z3 plus I2 double dash Z3, and E2 equals to I1 double dash Z3 plus I2 double dash into Z2 plus Z3 we are getting. Now solving these two equations, we are getting I1 double dash equals to minus of Z3 divided by Z1 Z2 plus Z2 Z3 plus Z3 Z1 into E2. That means we are getting two different values of I1 dash and I1 double dash for individual sources. So when we want to calculate the current through the first loop, I1 loop, definitely this value of current will be I1 equals to I1 dash plus I1 double dash. For individual sources we have taken, so in third step it will be sum up of these two. So by summing these two, we are getting that I1 equals to I1 dash plus I1 double dash and I2 equals to I2 dash plus I2 double dash. Just putting these values, you can see that whatever values we are getting from KVL equation in combining two sources, the same value we have getting by superposition theorem also. That means our superposition theorem is proved that it can be applied and the results are perfectly correct and the steps are mathematically easier. Okay. Now I am just briefing all the statements I have already made to you, and I have just listed a step for this. So first step is only one source is considered act alone. The other sources are replaced by their internal impedances, that is ideal independent voltage source are short circuited and ideal independent current sources are open circuited. This is very important, that ideal voltage sources are short circuited and ideal independent current sources are open circuited, and all the dependent sources will be act normally. Step 2. Using any suitable network analysis technique, the current through or the voltage across desired element is found out due to source under consideration. That means we are removing other sources and we will calculate the current or voltage through the particular branch using the particular source which we are considering, and other sources are not present and we have already removed. Step 3. Above steps are repeated considering all independent sources one by one. If we have suppose 4 sources, that means our number of steps will be 4 plus 1, that is 5. That means whatever amount of source will be steps there, superposition theorem steps will be number of sources plus 1. Okay. In step 4, the total responses, current or voltage is obtained by taking the algebraic sum of all the other responses. Okay. That means in last step we have to sum up all the currents or voltages for each sources we have already calculated. Okay. Now whatever points we have to remember in this regard. The theorem is valid for all types of linear circuits having time varying or time invariant elements. Point 2. The theorem is used to find the current or voltages in a branch when the circuit is large number of independent sources. Third, the theorem is not valid for power relationships. Fourth, the theorem is not applicable to circuits containing only dependent sources. With dependent sources, superposition can be used only when controlling the functions are external to the network containing sources, so that the controls are unchanged when the sources act at a time. Point 5. This theorem is not applicable for circuits with non-linear elements. Point 6. This theorem is not useful for circuits with only one independent sources. That means if we want to highlight the limitations of superposition theorem, then we have to point out that superposition theorem is not applicable for non-linear circuits, unilateral circuits, and secondly, it is not applicable for the circuit containing only one source. Okay, so these are the main limitations of superposition theorem, but we can conclude that superposition theorem is very easier for those problems which we are considering that more than one sources are present, and when multiple sources are present the network becomes complex one. So on that case, if we are considering that individual sources are acting, then the procedure will be very much easier one. So here we are considering that, and our superposition theorem is applicable for all the linear and bilateral network containing more than one sources. Okay. So up to this is much for superposition theorem. There are various problems, numerical problems are there related to superposition theorem. In my next lecture I will discuss on those numerical problems of superposition, and we can easily understood that by solving those problems will be much more easier than applying only KCL, KVL laws or Ohm's laws, and it will be easier to understand by all of you when we will solve some numerical problems related to superposition theorem, and various numerical problems will definitely give you more confidence to answer those questions easily. So thank you for listening my lecture.